So this past Saturday, AEW put on their first show, pay-per-view, before their TV show comes up in the fall, called Double or Nothing. The first one they had, it wasn't AEW, it was an indie show. It was All In, but now it's Double or Nothing.
I almost feel like All In should count.
Say what?
I almost feel like All In should count. I know it doesn't, but when you look at Double or Nothing, it look like All In. It's like, hey, it's everybody from the last one.
Yeah. In a way, it was. So this was it was either like make it or break it when it came to this pay-per-view here. Now they gave the pay-per-view out for $50. Once again, it already cost us $8 a day just to watch TV in the hospital room. So do you think I was going to pay $50 to watch Double or Nothing? Double or Nothing had to wait. I was looking right there in the crib like, uh-oh. That baby's that $50 go right to diapers anyway. Because by the way, thank you for the baby shower gifts, Quattro.
No problem, man. Anytime.
I love how everybody got us wipes but no diapers.
Hilarious. One pack of diapers.
We got one pack of diapers. We got like 18 packs of wipes.
Did you know how much wipes cost? I mean, diapers cost? Everybody said, how much is now the wipes?
Because somebody got to get them diapers, right? Exactly.
No, you just gotta dangle her over the sink and just wipe in the air or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Well, you know, we're blessed to have this stuff. So I was like, there's no way I can watch this thing. So, but Double or Nothing, we are in Las Vegas, Nevada. A lot of surprises happened at Double or Nothing. And so they did have on, I think they broadcast on TNT, or I know TNT streamed it on their YouTube channel, the pre-show.
Oh, they streamed it on YouTube?
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the game was coming on.
Exactly, because, you know, TNT's doing the whole, the finals, NBA. So, now, with this, some things have changed. We didn't get the Adam Page versus Pac matchup. We got that on a non-televised thing overseas, I believe it was. And so now we have Adam Page in this 21-man casino battle royal, where the winner receives a future AEW World Championship match against the winner of Double or Nothing's main event, which is Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, Alpha versus Omega 2, I believe it is.
Now, and the crazy part was all that Adam Page wasn't supposed to be there. Adam Page had been saying for weeks, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there. I'm not coming. It's not happening. Then he just pops up.
I mean, well, Flip Gordon did the same thing at All In.
Yeah, look, remember, All In don't count. So we just got to forget that happened.
So,
in wrestling, you suspend your disbelief. We know that.
So this was a very kind of unique battle royal. It was a battle royal with kind of Royal Rumble rules, but 5 men came out at a time. So 5 men came out. There was a time limit. Then another 5 men came out until all the 20 slots were taken up, and we had some kind of names in here. Some that kind of shocked me, such as Brian Pillman Jr. was in here. Billy Gunn was in
Tommy
here.
Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer was in here. Jimmy Havoc. Sean Spears was
who?
AKA
Exact.
Ty Dillinger.
That's gonna be his name for the rest of his life. But okay.
So, by his new gimmick, Sean Spears come out, still doing the 10, by the way, was in there.
Not understanding. Okay.
And
if it ain't broke.
Right.
Sonny Kiss was in there as well, but one of the biggest things that caught me off guard, Glacier.
Yep.
Now, I was, you know me, I was a huge WCW fan back in the day, and anybody who knows who Glacier is, Glacier was Sub-Zero for Mortal Kombat wrestling. Seriously, and I was just like, if anybody watched the Glacier vignettes back in the day, it was from the direct set of the first Mortal Kombat movie. So I see Glacier in there, first of all, gained all the weight, still trying to do these Sub-Zero style moves, spitting water. I guess it's supposed to be his freeze.
Ugh.
And I was like, okay, so it's not happening. So
You just said it's not happening. Go ahead.
So
Well, Sub-Zero got that move when he did that puddle on the ground, and two, you just slipped for a little bit. That's what that was.
Yeah, you ain't seen Glacier do that at all.
My God.
So it was your typical battle royal. Who is that? Okay, there was two guys in here. Remember that little small white guy that was in it who looked like a kid in the All In battle royal?
Wait, are we talking about the person with no legs?
No.
Somebody with no legs.
That's why with no legs that was in there, and there was a huge fat guy. What was that fat guy's name?
Oh.
I don't know what his name was. It was just a big man.
He was uncomfortably huge.
Oh, stop.
And then so I forgot, I don't know his name, but then the way he launched this little guy out the ring, he gave him the pounce, but he literally pounced him out the ring.
Cause he did
Huh?
Somebody check on him.
he did the back in ECW when Spike Dudley got launched out the ring, and he's just like, oh, he went far.
Yes. He went really far. So yeah, they also came out to, kind of like the draw of the cards. You had the club group, the diamonds, the hearts, the spades, and of course the Joker was Adam Page.
Oh, so that was like the groups that came out. And,
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
So
Clever, you guys.
typical battle royal here. Like I said, other than that big pounce spot, but I was like, who's this big fat guy in here? I mean, like I was watching him, and I was just like, I can really do anything. There's just no way. I mean, like, why should I even try to keep getting this stuff? Because I could be a wrestler.
You probably could.
Doubt it.
I think my favorite and most horrible part was what came after the battle royal when you on the internet, and it was like, so the rules is you lose when both feet touch the ground, right? There was a guy in there with no legs. How does that work? I'm like, you gotta hate the internet. You gotta hate the internet, but it's right.
You do got hit the you got hit the internet. That maybe they wanted a stub or a nub or something like that.
Bro, say legs.
That's wild, bro.
So Adam Page eliminates MJF. So and now Adam Page is now one of the number one contenders for the AEW World Champion, depending on who is the winner of the main event. So now we get started on to. Well, I didn't see the other pre-show. I didn't see the Kip Saban match versus was it Sammy Guevara.
Nah, I didn't see it, but from what I heard from What Culture, they said it's something to go back and watch. They said it was a really good match, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know any of these two people, but if it's a good match, I'll watch it.
You're right. Starting off the show is a 6-man tag match with SoCal Uncensored, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky taking on the Strong Hearts, Chima, T-Hawk, and L. Linneman. Now, I remember Chima. These are the guys that's part of the Oriental Wrestling Alliance, I believe it's called. OWA.
The Oriental Wrestling Alliance.
Is it
Wow.
1976?
They are.
No, I understand. I wasn't expecting that. Go ahead.
Neither was I.
thought they was only still left on packs of oodles and noodles, but go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. So they had the whole thing at the press conference about them doing the matchup. So once again, the match was pretty good. I haven't seen Frankie Kazarian wrestle since he had hair. Because when
I have just going to like Ring of Honor and stuff that comes here to the city, and I'm just looking at him like, you know what, you've actually got better over time. That's good.
He has. There was a time that Kazarian was coming out and he looked sick. Like his arms were small and he just looked very sick. I know he was still wrestling, but now he looked to be in good shape. Christopher Daniels at 50-some years old, how is he still doing it? But I'm liking the Scorpio Sky dude because I never seen him wrestle before. I didn't see him come out with him, but it reminded me, like, don't you kind of miss primetime Elix Skipper?
Primetime Elix Skipper.
Do you remember him?
You reaching far.
Yes, back when they had Triple X in TNA with Christopher Daniels, and they had him and Low Key and Primetime Elite Skipper.
You reaching main event mafia far.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm reaching back though. I'm just saying because Scorpio Sky, he's the black guy in the group. So I'm just like, and they try to replace the Elite Skipper.
Yeah, I mean, you know wrestling is a new gimmick for a new audience. I mean, an old gimmick for a new audience.
Yeah, that's like bringing back the above average Mike Sanders. So
yeah, it's like bringing back the Hardcore Championship. Keep going.
We talking about that.
The big green belt. Don't worry, it has to come up in a portion of the other thing. So SoCal Uncensored win the matchup here. So a good opening to the matchup. Would you agree, Quattro?
Yeah, from the highlights that I seen, because just like you, I wasn't paying for it.
Yes.
From definitely had a lot of good spots. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, Double or Nothing is something I will definitely pick up on DVD, but I just wasn't paying $50 for it right now.
Next matchup we have Dr. Britt Baker taking on DMD, Nyla Rose, but wait, hold on, because I'm trying to make sure.
Because this match was supposed to be a triple threat match.
It was supposed to be a triple threat match.
Pushed all that way until Brandy came out and said, "You know what? This is our first pay-per-view.
It's gonna be a fatal four-way." And I was like, Brandy, don't do this to yourself. And but Brandy brings out the returning Awesome Kong.
I mean, can we call her Slim Awesome Kong?
Yeah.
Because I remember her as Awesome Kong. Then I remember her as Karma. Then I know she went through a tragedy.
She did, and then she was the welfare queen on Glow.
Ooh,
right?
I almost forgot about that.
Yep, and now she. Now I don't know if she's back because I know she's been having some back problems. But she was in there, and the crowd was getting into all of her spots.
Right. She went from Bob to Slim Bob. That's what really happened. She teching us.
But the person that ended up with the win was Dr. Britt Baker.
That's because Kong and Nyla was giving it to each other on the outside, pretty much. For real.
Yeah, they ran, and that's when they slept at for the rest of the matchup, because that's why I was like, I think Kong back is really hurting her because she wasn't really that much involved other than doing her spots and stuff like that. So I was like, hey, that was kind of a cool moment, a good kind of fatal four-way to get things going.
Right. Good pop too. Good pop. Crowd was very receptive of her being there.
Next matchup, tag team match. I don't know why people like this team. Best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, because Chubb's like this team. I don't get it. I don't get the gimmick at all. It just doesn't fly with me. Versus Angelico and Jack Evans. First off,
I guess Best Friends is kind of like a modern day Billy and Chuck, in a way.
I guess, but first of all, if anybody knows who Angelico is, this guy is great at what he does. Watch. All I'm going to say is Lucha Underground Season 1. That's the guy that dove off the Office all the way over to the spots that he did in Lucha Underground. You just have to see to believe it, because me explaining it is not doing any justice. But he got injured, and I'm glad to see him back here in AEW because the guy is good. Now, once again, this match got about 12 minutes. I mean, it was a decent tag team matchup. Best friends pick up the victory here. And, you know, I'm not all into it. It ain't because of the hugging thing, because Billy does the hugging thing. But I just never got... I think maybe I'm not a fan of Chuck Taylor. I think I'm not what it is. But best friends pick up the win here.
Then we got the after the match.
What was the after the match?
Wasn't the after match when the Super Smash Bros. Came out?
Okay, so I'm telling you this right now. When they get their deal on TNT, right? Let me tell you how Nintendo's not going to let that name go over.
That's it. They about to be called SSB.
Exactly. There's no way the Super Smash Brothers is getting over when they get to TNT. Because you see how quick Nintendo shut down Soulja Boy, right?
Maybe we'll just call him the Super Smash Experience.
Oh. Bah, you know, now that's a good one right there. That boy good. Yeah, the Super Smash. Now I don't know who's part of the Super Smash Brothers group, but they did come out. And they take best friends, didn't they?
Yeah, and you know what I think was the funniest part about them coming out? They came out and the crowd was like, "Hey, who are you?" There was actively a chant, "Who are you?"
Exactly, because
are you?
they all had masks on, didn't they? Or did they not?
No, I believe they didn't have masks. The crowd just didn't know who they was. The crowd was just like, "Wow, why are we happy?"
Yo, talk about Forgotten Sons, right? Now next up is a 6-woman tag match. This is the one that I honestly, even go back on the highlights, I did not see most of. And once again, I know I'm going to butcher these names because you know they're Japanese names. So, the team of bear with me, everybody.
Good luck with this one.
What'd you say?
Good luck with this one.
Yeah, Hakura Shidai.
It looks like Hikaru Shida.
Okay. I think she was in the main young class. I'm not sure.
Haru Shida.
I don't know where you got that from.
Okay. What's the next name?
Okay, I'm gonna read it in the order that I see it here.
Okay.
It looks like Asia Kong. Yuka Sakazaki. Emi Sakura. Hikaru Shida. And then Ryu and Ryu. Or Rio.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess up that. I know I messed that one up. Ms. Junami.
Whew.
And the funny part is, as most podcasts said, you have the team of, the Asian women. I was like, man, that's wrong, but I understand the struggle.
It is a struggle.
You're right. Okay, so one of them teams won.
Okay.
I'm sorry, and I hate to disrespect the whole thing like that, but one of these teams won.
Yeah, the
Asian women won, so you know that.
For some reason.
The Asian women won. It ended with a big spot of like a brain buster on the turnbuckle, which really put one girl away. But the match had a couple botches. Like at one point there was a pin attempt, but the bell was rung, so everybody was like, "Oh wait, maybe that was a mistake done on purpose to play into the finish." It had nothing to do with that. Somebody just accidentally called for the bell. So, and then also a lot of people were saying that the match went on too long. It started to lose some flair after a while. And I was like, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. No, we're gonna keep going. Okay. So,
wow.
They're saying it was the most forgettable match on the card, but it's like when you get a report card and your lowest grade is a B. That's your lowest grade, but you didn't fail.
Okay, fair enough. It just didn't hold up to the other matches then.
Yeah.
Correct. Gotcha. Alright, so going on to the next matchup, which now this is something I was really getting invested into. It's brother versus brother. The match that Dustin wanted for so long.
Talk about the intro alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. It's Cody with Brandy Rose taking on Dustin Rhodes. So, first off, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, has been keeping himself in great shape.
He has. Hats off to him.
He's 50.
Well, I mean, look, when you look at people like him and R-Truth and all the old guys out there still kicking it, I mean, like, hey, they love what they do.
Yeah, because you have to keep up with that.
Yeah, so Cody comes out in like this, nice, I want to say like Assassin's Creed 3, Captain Crunch kind of jacket.
Why Captain
Assassin's Crunch?
He said
Are we just gonna call it? I can't even get words out. The Assassin's Crunch jacket.
How do you even merge the two?
I don't know, but it was blue and gold. And that's a don't think of it.
Oh,
I forgot.
Crunch charged me Exio.
Got a name. I don't think of his name.
So in the background, there's this throne. Okay, and it's obviously looking like a Triple H kind of throne. So, as Cody's coming down and Brandy's all hyping him up, he goes, takes the robe off, and gets a sledgehammer out from underneath the ring. He goes back, and he destroys the throne.
Ouch.
Now, I don't know how y'all feel. I'm going to tell you how I feel about that real quick.
I saw mixed reviews.
That was dumb. That was dumb. And I now look.
Most of the reviews I saw said that.
Yes, because now, before I get into my deep thing about it, Quato, what did you think of it?
I saw it as purely taking a shot at WWE, but it's the wrong person.
Bingo.
Okay, like my wife agrees as well. Here's my thing.
It's like if you had taken like tube of Polydent or something. Or a walker, something. I don't know. A genetic jackhammer.
Yes.
You could have snatched that. But why?
just if you'd have had a picture of Muscle and Fitness and just bust through it.
Exactly.
Something differently.
Look, there
a picture with a chain around your neck.
You're right, but you know what? There are a lot of things. I know Cody got some bitter feelings towards WWE, especially because the whole Stardust thing didn't work out. He didn't want to be Stardust. Then the D's going to be forced to be Stardust. They didn't make...
That shit was trash, though.
It was. And he had a good idea for the gimmick, but they didn't want to go with it. So, I get it. Mm-hmm. They took his dad's creation, turned it into a house show. I get it. But see, when you do shit like this is what's going to make you go down the TNA route, opposed to building your own thing.
And that was what a lot of people's arguments were. That they thought it was like, stay in your lane, do what you do well.
If you want to take a shot at Vince McMahon, if you want to take a shot at Triple H, you have the best damn show you can have.
Exactly.
When you go out your way to take shots, with TNA was doing its own thing on Spike TV, which was the second biggest wrestling show that they had coming in America. And what they do, they brought in Hogan, they brought in Bischoff, and all they want to do is get back at Vince. And what happened?
I mean, he really digs in people's crawl, so I get it, but come on, y'all.
He wanted to get back at Vince, and now let's look at where Hogan, Bischoff, and TNA is at right now. You got it, Quadro.
See, one thing Ryan said, wasn't there a spot earlier when the Young Bucks, Cody, Brandy, and Omega came out and said something to the crowd like, "Thank you for selling out the place. We have 20,000 people here tonight." And then that's what the Young Bucks said. And Cody was like, "The place only holds 13,000 people. What are you doing?" And it was like, "Oh, it's wrestling. You round up." They had already took their shot at them.
Yeah, that's
the
subliminal shots you take.
Yeah.
Like you got your good. Oh, we know WWE do that. I got you. That was funny. Yeah, I got your good shot. They was like, then they went to the back. They said, "No, we need another one."
No, that had to be already set up. You ain't getting no throne made and a sledgehammer and be like,
that looks like his throne. Like, come on now, stop it. So
because that's probably Young Bucks out there. They was like, we could throw this little pot shot in there, and Cody was like, "No, they need to know." Like, oh, okay.
You right now. Granted,
essence of you mad or no?
You don't go up against the biggest threat that there is head on and win. That's how you win.
No, that's not it.
That's not nothing in this nation, in history, has ever been done like that. Anything that was a threat or that you want to inflict change, you never took on them head on. Me and Lady Sketch last night just watched a documentary on the XFL.
Yep.
Vince McMahon is one of the biggest billionaires and wrestling personas in America. But guess what? You're taking on the NFL. And guess what happened? You failed.
He took on the NFL and not very well at that. That was the thing. Like,
yeah.
It was very good.
Remember, maybe Quattro will remember, but remember back when Slam Ball tried to take on the NBA?
We're not going to talk about Slam Ball. Because that was just a bad idea.
Now Lady Sketch, do you remember Slam Ball?
The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember anything
so,
about this.
If you wanted like an extreme NBA thing where you got no calls, you could rough up somebody, and you could do all the kind of crazy dunks you did on Spike TV.
So it's like and one.
Not quite.
Okay.
You had these athletic guys, ball players, and in the middle of the court it was a hardwood floor.
Okay.
But on each end of the court were trampolines.
Oh no!
Yes.
So
yes.
I definitely never saw
yes.
those.
So every time
everybody could dunk.
Everybody could dunk. So
and couldn't dunk. Some people still missed.
As you run up the court, you get your little dribbles in, but they go in there, take a run, and start bounce up, doing a 360 flip spin behind the legs, all kinds of dunks. And if you get blocked, you get slammed down on the trampoline, bounce back up. It was crazy. It lasted for like.
It was like a skit on the Harlem Globetrotters.
It lasted for like 2 seasons. That was supposed to go up against the NBA.
How did that have 2 seasons?
It was NBA Street with all game breakers.
Oh, no.
24/7 game breakers.
Bruh, after a while, I'm just like, I remember one guy actually attempted a 3. I'm just like, what?
Okay, alright, y'all. You know what?
When you get tired, you gotta look up the highlights of Slam Ball.
I'm gonna look it up because this sounds like it was entertaining.
That's what I'm saying, but I was like, but you ain't trying to go. You ain't gonna be an alternative to the NBA.
I mean, it's cute. Like, it's a cute idea, but don't be like we are the next best thing. Like, what? No.
It was just like, I remember actively watching the beginning of the XFL because I'm a wrestling fan and I had a lot of friends in the football, and I figured this was going to be my blending way over. It was not.
No.
It was not. I remember the first play, and my man just clothesline boy, and it was like, just cuz. And I was like, what?
Oh. I mean, it's sad because there are alternatives to football now, but people still don't pay attention to them. Like, everyone talk trash about how Philly has no championships. Do y'all understand the Philadelphia Soul is like a 3-time championship team? Nobody pays them any attention. It's so sad.
It is. And, the thing is, when you look at WCW back in the day, you don't... Bischoff, towards the end, yeah. But you try to fight WWE. Everything WWE wasn't doing, he did. Mm-hmm. Fireworks, cruiserweights, heels, storylines, all the shit WWE wasn't doing.
Yeah.
Then that's how you get their attention.
Real.
That's how they change. But now you taking shots at them. I'm like, and I'm gonna wait to the end because I want to get through the rest of the stuff first on why I thought it was even more stupid. Because I'm just like, for people out there, don't hate me. Double or Nothing was good, but it wasn't as good as you thought it was.
He hate me? No, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So, Dustin comes out in the half red and black, nice face paint and everything. This match was brutal. And it was
That's
good...
what it looked like from the clips. I was like, Jesus
It
Christ.
was a good matchup, a very good match. And this was... Dustin Rhodes said after the match, this was his greatest moment in his career. 30 plus years wrestling, this was his greatest moment. Because they were supposed to have a match at WrestleMania 30. I think it was a 31. And it didn't happen. And they had a match at Fastlane. Vince hated the match at Fastlane. So he didn't give him the match at WrestleMania.
Got you.
I got it. But this match right here...
They could have had a match at Super Showdown.
Oh, snap.
It's supposed to be better than WrestleMania, don't you understand?
I think you telling me every week.
I'm sorry. It just bothers me deeply. Whenever I hear it, I'm like, y'all are just on drugs. But go ahead.
So, Dustin does the blade job here.
Whew.
And I'm telling you, this has to be... Out of all the blade jobs I've seen, this has to be like number 4 or 3 on how much this man bled.
He bled to the point that most people was like, man, when is his face paint coming off? Until the true realization that was blood.
Because nothing right now will top Eddie versus JBL Judgment Day 2004, where Eddie actually went into shock because he lost so much blood.
That's why I was like, bro, he had to be lightheaded when he left that ring. He needed assistance.
There's also Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar Hell in a Cell 2002.
Right.
Well, Undertaker bled like a stuffed pig. He just bled.
You gonna put Austin Brett in there because Austin was a little drenched.
No. I would not, because Austin had the lines coming down for the effect. Yeah. I'm talking about the Crimson Mask. I'm talking about like Vince McMahon versus Undertaker Buried Alive 2003.
Okay.
When Vince was just red, like it was like all you see was like lips blubbering because that's all it was. Or like John Cena JBL I Quit match 2005 kind of bleeding.
That was a lot of blood.
Those was a lot of blood. So when I seen all this blood, it was like this is the kind of blood that left stains in the ring.
That's why I was like, y'all. That's the kind of blood I'm like, I hope y'all changing this canvas for the next match.
Yeah. It left stains in the ring, and
the Red Cross, like, if you did all that, I'm gonna need 3 quarts on Tuesday.
But I say exactly, you got a blood drive coming up, y'all. You could surely come and do it.
Exactly. Cody hits him with the crossroads and wins the match. First of all, can I give a shout out to Dustin Rhodes, who's 50-some years old, doing a Canadian Destroyer?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Look, the man put on a 23-minute matchup with his brother, and they did good. So, after Cody... first of all, before...
when they ain't been using him in WWE, he had some time to rest.
I know.
Right.
First of all, Brandy Rose on the outside, Spears Goldust. So, shout out for Dustin taking that for him.
Oh.
And she got kicked out of ringside, and DDP dragged her to the back.
Exactly. DDP grabbed her, took her. I was like, oh, okay, DDP's there. So,
yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, he came up with Cody's entourage. We went against Nick Aldis and All In.
Oh, okay.
So I figured, why not? He's, DDP will tell you forever and a day about 2 people in his life that changed it: Dusty Rhodes and Karl Malone. Okay, so
Karl Malone gets me every time.
So DDP will talk to them like they are the coming. Okay, so but yeah, DDP takes Brady to the back, and they finish out the match, and then of course Cody wins with the crossroads. So as Cody's leaving, I can't start calling him Goldust. Dustin starts to take off his boots. Anybody who knows wrestling knows that's a sign of I'm done. I retire. That's my retirement. So Cody comes back and says, No. You don't get to retire. I got a show next month that I accepted a tag team title match. Not title match, a tag team match with the Young Bucks. And I don't need a friend. I don't need a partner. I need my older brother. As his voice started. Yes, as his voice started cracking. Aww. So they hugged in the ring and had a very nice moment.
That's so nice.
It is.
First of all, you see the show next month is called the Fighter Fest, and it's all like Fire Festival satire. I think that's hilarious.
Oh my god!
That's me.
I swear they had music performed by Ja Rule. I'm laughing.
It's already sold out.
You sure?
Did you say Ja Rule?
I said if they have a Ja Rule musical performance, I'm done.
Are you ready? I'm sorry.
So that's the next show coming up. So Cody and Dustin Rhodes is going to take on the Young Bucks. First of all, I hope they can keep up because the Young Bucks is be drawing. But every time they do two of them,
especially after the next match. Oof.
Yeah. Now, before we get to the next match, there is a presentation of the AEW Championship.
Cool.
This was my surprise of the night.
It was supposed to be, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was supposed to be Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
He's supposed to come out and present the championship.
How did they think that was going to happen?
Well, they didn't know he was going to get sick or go to.
I mean, is he allowed to do that?
Well, legend contracts work kind of differently than.
I mean, legend contract or not, you think Vince is going to have anybody?
It's Ric Flair.
All right. I'm gonna have to argue. What you gonna do? Erase Ric Flair?
This is true.
Really?
But yeah, he's sick.
They barely could erase Hogan. So I'm just saying, you just can't.
And they tried. They had a lot of effort in that.
Yeah.
Still there.
But go ahead.
But
so it's supposed to be Ric Flair. Gotcha.
So, but Ric Flair. Now, once again, I don't know if this is when he got sick or this is because he couldn't get there. Some scheduling conflicts.
He's probably still sick. He shouldn't be flying nowhere.
No. So they got out Bret Hart.
I saw that.
Yes.
Still, I was like, I had the same thing that you said, Lady Sketch. Like, yo, you could do that.
Exactly. That's why I was like, ain't Bret still under contract?
Now, if
Did
you
you
think,
just go in the Hall of Fame again?
peep this. If you think Ric Flair gonna do what he want to do,
oh, we know Bret Hart.
Bret Hart gonna
Bret
do.
Hart would probably take the check and be like, all right, so I'm rolling out to Cody's show. You have a good one, Vince. Like,
Yeah.
he don't give a fuck.
Bret Hart probably in the back and tweeted him say something.
No, he probably texted him, look at me, wearing the belt.
That'd be kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that would be trash. But go ahead.
So Bret Hart comes out to present the belt, and then Adam Page comes out in his wash denim.
You gotta stop with this watch.
First of all, the belt looks good, better than the 24/7 title. I'm sorry.
Listen, everything was better than 24/7 title, man. It is literally a Flavor Flav clock with a strap on it.
You know what's sad? I was listening to Solomon. So he's like, why they keep bringing Mick Foley to bring out these bad titles?
Why? Exactly.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell, but yes.
Because Mick Foley presented the Universal Championship
yes, he
too.
did. He's like, he took the booze and take it on the chin and go in the back and limp in the back like ain't nothing wrong. Everybody else be like, well, I ain't doing that shit. I mean, that's belt.
And it's just like, because first of all, the AEW Championship does look nice. It's gaudy, but I like gaudy.
I saw it. It reminds me of like a super. I'm trying to think what it.
It reminds me of like the UFC Championship.
Okay.
A little bit, mixed with I don't know. When I first saw it, UFC came right to my mind. So,
I thought about the TNA Heavyweight Championship.
Oh God.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it now. It is rather gaudy.
That
is the word.
But the thing is, I like gaudy because
like Texas belt buckle.
Because one of my favorite championships is the big gold belt Ric Flair had.
And that's kind of what I feel like that's what it's supposed to be reminiscent of.
Yeah.
Looking at it now.
So I mean, your championship is supposed to be gaudy, it's supposed to be out there. So, and I love world championship belts.
Probably as heavy as hell though, but.
You know, because I do want to have a collection of world championship belts, and the only one that I really want that I don't have is the Attitude Era championship belt.
Do they even have those?
Oh yeah, they got those. Attitude Era and Undisputed Era, and the Undisputed Championship are the only ones that I don't got. I got the Wing Eagle, got the Bret Hart. I love the Wing Eagle. Yes. I got the big gold belt. I do want the NWO one though, 'cause I love when Hulk came out there with the air guitar.
Oh,
and then I got the current WWE Championship one. Yeah, the show got me, so it's all good. So it was nice, but then MJF comes out, cuts a promo, very heel promo, makes fun of Bret Hart getting attacked at the Hall of Fame. He was just like, "Wait, Bret, watch out!" And then he was joking with him about that.
Poor baby.
So I didn't get to hear too much of the promo as Bret Hart was showing off the championship. However, I did hear that it was off camera that Bret had another accident.
No, he didn't.
Bret Hart.
Did he fall out the ring or something?
He fell off the stage.
Oh, where is his wife at? Okay, he need guys like Stevie Wonder now. Just have somebody at his side at all times.
You say where his wife at, like she gonna catch him.
But I'm saying, you supposed to be holding his hand and looking out for him, girl.
Here's the thing: Bret Hart ain't married to somebody in wrestling, so everybody, his wife is like in the back, like I'm chilling.
No, bro. He needs somebody. He needs a helping hand. He out here looking like.
And they said, the accident that he fell off the stage. He's okay. They said
that Drake. You ever seen that clip of Drake when he fell off the stage?
No, I seen when did he fell through the stage.
Oh no, not that one. No.
That.
Drake was doing too. He was getting a little too extra. That little skip he do. And he skipped his ass right off that damn stage. I think he broke his foot.
Damn. Ow. So yeah. He's doing all right.
Okay, that's good.
But it was okay. So people say that was there in attendance and he fell off the stage.
Poor baby.
And I was just like, damn, Bret, wrap him in bubble wrap, please.
Yes, we have to bubble wrap him.
He got attacked this year at the Hall of Fame and then falls off the double nut stage.
Jesus. At least this time it wasn't nobody else. It wasn't nobody else's doing. He just like, look, I'm old. Things happen.
Now, speaking of action-packed matches. We got the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson taking on my peoples, the Lucha Bros, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix.
Can I say something?
Sure.
To too much happened in this match to talk about it.
But I'm telling you, it's ludicrous to go spot for spot in this match.
It was good.
It's ludicrous to go spot for spot in this match because you're gonna die trying. First of all, it was 25 minutes of action, so it shows they care about the tag division in this match.
Yeah.
What? Did you fall?
Right, did you have a Bret Hart moment?
No, I'm alright.
The only negative I got about this matchup is this: too many kickouts.
It's an indie match, dog.
No, stop it. Look, you understand something.
That's what they do.
You say that now, but when you go on TNT, man, your shit gonna change. And I'm just like, for my liking, there was times I was like, okay, this match is over. But they kept kicking out of the moves, and I was like, what is the problem? And I was like, but you know what? I mean, I can expect that from teams like this. So, even the Lucha Brothers hit their form of the Meltzer Driver. Even though I like the way they came out of nowhere and hit the Meltzer Driver on them. Well, the Matrix having one on. I hate. This is one of the things I hate. 'Cause I'm talking about this at the end. How they did not put over. I was like, has JR, all respect to him, watched any Lucha Underground before at all?
Probably not.
Because I'm like, when Pentagon snaps somebody's arm, it's broke. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Matt Jackson getting back up, about to do a Meltzer Driver to Pentagon. I'm like, are you serious right now?
They did it too.
Yeah, I know. And he did it with the one hand thing, but it was a very good match. You can't. The action was just so much in this fucking match. You couldn't even.
It was just too much. it was legit a match that was. It wasn't. I think overbooked isn't enough of a term. It was just Like what happened? Yes.
No.
Did they? Yup.
I mean, he's
it's the thing is it's not overbooked because it was just these two teams. But the thing is, now when I look at it, I'm like, it's a Young Bucks match. That's what it is. It's a Young Bucks match. This is what Young Bucks matches do. And when you go against the Lucha Brothers, I mean, how else it could not have been any better? That's just the way it is.
I always wondered that. From having gone to like indie shows.
Yeah.
How do wrestlers like the Young Bucks and all that, who are like, and even like in a Ricochet, how do y'all expect to have longevity?
Oh, they don't.
Okay, all right.
Because you can end up like Matt Sydal, who's like younger than us and is like got like back problems who probably almost need a walker.
He's the one who doesn't announce team for Lucha Underground, right?
No, that's Matt Stryker. Matt Sydal is Evan Bourne. Evan Bourne back in the day.
Yeah, or you be like how Jeff Hardy is. Look at Jeff Hardy now. You just be like, yo, Jeff Hardy, just go lay down, man.
Okay, but see, the thing about Jeff Hardy is the reason why he's still kind of can wrestle at his 40s because I really think he forgot all his 30s.
He might have. His body
drugs. Yeah, his body did, but I'm just saying I think Jeff forgot all the 30s. So that right there is like.
I was just wondering. I was like, if that's a thing where they don't expect to have longevity in the business and they like, I'm gonna ride this out while I can, cool. But I always wonder that.
I mean, unless he tries to start doing DDP yoga, maybe.
Stop.
Oh, but as of right now, because Matt is like they're in their early 30s, so I mean they still got some time left on them. But the way they be having these matches, though, because I really think TNT may slow them down.
Probably.
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't have a problem with Young Bucks match. I'm saying, but there is no longevity. Like the older guys, the old dogs, like Undertaker be saying, you ain't gotta do all that stuff to get over.
Well, yeah, but see, here's the thing. Times change.
Times do change.
And, people's tastes change. Just like, it's a lot of stuff that wouldn't go over now that went over 10, 20 years ago. But people don't want to just see, like, from the early to maybe mid to late 90s, some of the stuff that they did, people now would be like, bro, ain't nobody trying to see that shit. Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. But it's always going to be different, two different schools of thinking. I was just curious, like, y'all do so much. Like, Ricochet flipping out of the ring into Velveteen Dream's face. I don't want to see a 45-year-old man doing it.
No.
Because I'm like, ooh, the whole match will just be like, ooh.
First of all,
a
45-year-old man, his belly button get caught in that top rope. Alright. Crashing on the apron.
Damn.
And then,
I'm mad you have the whole scene planned.
It is. I'm just
saying, because it's just like, that's not as entertaining as much as just like, oh Jesus, please, somebody.
No, that's all. That's how I feel. Like I said, watching a Jeff Hardy match now. Everything he did hurt him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every single move.
They just have
Twist the fade looked like he threw his whole shoulder out. That's why I'm like, go home. Go home. Like, I get it before you did the swanton and you sold it. Like, oh man, this really hurt me. Now he do the swanton and don't even pin nobody no more. He do it and be like, get him, Matt.
Bruh. This man do the swanton. Yo, did y'all hear the interview with I think it was either Randy Orton or it was I forgot who he did, or I think it was Carl Anderson. And he says, yo, if I could take one thing out of my night, it's Jeff Hardy Swanton. That's just a bitch. Because Jeff, if y'all watch the Swanton, Jeff grazed you with his head back in the day. Jeff just dropped all his 220 something right on your stomach. And that's it. That's how they do the Swanton bomb there. And they like, that shit hurt like a bitch.
I hope he finna retire for this. I really do.
And now Jeff, he only does a Swanton on main shows. He don't do it on house shows.
Well, why would he?
Because it's Jeff fucking Hardy. You know what I'm saying? But
no, see, listen to this. You hear what you just said? Hi, I'm a wrestler and I can't do my finisher.
Exactly.
Go home.
Go.
Bruh, you better stay ass up in them ECW arena rafters and just chill.
Because don't worry, I can't wait to see a tired jackhammer and Super Showdown. But we ain't in that yet right now.
Don't.
So the main event is Chris Jericho taking on Kenny Omega. Alpha versus Omega 2. The winner is going to take on Adam Page for the AEW World Championship, according to Bret Hart, next month. But because he botched that, but it's actually going to be in a couple months.
Is it? When is it?
They do another show. It may be on the very first episode of when they get on TNT, or it may or it may be the next show.
That could be a selling
was in the
point.
fall.
That could be a selling point for the show on TNT.
And because Cody already said we're not doing 12 pay-per-views a year.
Because that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does. Because
also it costs too much.
Not for them.
It don't make sense for them. See, this is what I'm saying. Don't make them promises, because when the demand gets high, because see, once again, that's what happened. WWE was doing 4. WCW said, fuck that, we doing 1 a month. And the WWE said, alright, it's working, let's do 1 a month. See, now when WWE tried to do like, okay, here go a SmackDown 1 and a Raw 1, and we got 2 every 2 weeks, that's too much.
That's what I'm talking about. But
that's too much.
Dude, every 2 weeks with a big 4 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
For an emerging company like an AEW who doesn't even have their roster completely filled out yet, they should probably chill for it. Yeah,
I agree. So Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. Now, I like the Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega match they had in New Japan. So this one, I did disappoint to me. Jericho still doing his thing. Of course, he knows his limitations. Jericho in this matchup, I will say, is one of my second favorite wrestlers of all time. Started looking old.
I mean,
because he botched a couple moves that you could tell Kenny needed somebody younger to follow through with. Like there was a follow through tornado snap DDT that Jericho just fell on, so they had to go do the spot over again. And I was just like, yeah, I can definitely see. And now, because it was a normal match. When they did the first match, it was like a hardcore match to hide some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So this one was just a straight up normal matchup. Still a good match, don't get me wrong. But I could see Jericho's fall in his age.
Yeah.
I
mean, but I do hope that he does know his limitations. And will be like, you know what, I'm going to step to the back and take a more backstage role. And only come out for when absolutely necessary, because bruh.
Well, not according to this, because
obviously I know.
Because Jericho, after hitting running code breakers on Kenny Omega, who sells the fuck out them code breakers, man. picks up the win, and I was surprised Jericho beat Kenny Omega.
I was very surprised when I saw that. I was like, is this right?
And I'm a huge fan of Jericho, so Jericho is going to take on Adam Page for the AEW World Championship, which I know
So
Jericho.
Adam Page is going to be the...
Yeah, he gonna put him over because it wasn't because after Jericho won, somebody is coming through the crowd like Scott Hall in 1996.
Now, and this was all during the time when Jericho was giving a beautiful speech, but like, y'all know this company's nothing without me, right?
Yeah, like just so y'all know.
So this is the thing, though. Like, maybe Kenny Omega, he's still wrestling elsewhere, right?
Okay, well he's
New Japan, right?
Well, no, actually his deal kind of got finished with that. So
I think not to the summer.
Yeah, he's not doing anything right now. But he's for AEW right now.
I was about to say, like, maybe he has other obligations because I just can't see. But go ahead.
But I'm just saying they're setting him up for this new feud because as this guy walking through the crowd like Scott Hall from '96, as Jericho's doing his promo, basically let everybody know that AEW is nothing without him. Because I do want a Jericho's AEW shirt.
That would be hilarious.
John Moxley comes into the ring. Does his little, Robert Barone slant from Everybody Loves Raymond.
With this.
And gives Jericho Dirty D's. Is he still calling it Dirty D's? I'm not sure.
I mean, I feel like
as of right now,
when he came in, was that his move when he got there?
Well, I mean, he used to do it differently, but I mean, he switched it up. So I mean, I guess, but yeah, he's still
if he
doing
it.
it.
Dirty D's before he got there, more than likely he still will.
I think as of right now, everyone's still calling it the Dirty D's, so it might not just have a new name yet. So we don't know what else to call it.
Yeah,
fair enough. Then he takes out Jericho. Then he looks at Omega, and then he's about to give Omega Dirty D's, but Omega don't push him out the ring. And down there are brawling all on the outside of the ring, all through the crowd. Kenny Omega's fighting this guy, and then they go up on the stage where they got the poker chips. I like the design.
Yeah.
And then, but John Moxley gets the upper hand and gives Kenny Omega a Dirty D's right on the poker chips.
And then kicks him off the side.
Yeah, and now John Moxley is fully in AEW for all the assholes who thought that this was a work.
This was a work. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god.
I try to tell y'all.
I was like, I'm gonna be quiet because I'm in several wrestling groups on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I saw this is all a work. It's a work. The WWE paid for that vignette when he left and blah blah blah. I was like, bruh, I'm not this. Dean Ambrose seemed genuinely disgusted with being there. I don't think he's coming back. Let it go.
Guys, people are still saying that this is a work, and AEW and WWE are in, deal with one another. And at this point, you're just like, really?
Just don't let people believe what they want to believe, yo.
This is the same shit with WCW. There was like, Vince sent over Vince Russo in a conspiracy to kill off WCW. Bruh, stop.
Vince Russo don't need nobody's help killing off nothing. Okay, he can do this shit all on his own.
Exactly. So that was Double or Nothing. Now, I want to get your final thoughts. Quattro, how'd you enjoy the show? Or for the highlights you've seen?
For what I've seen for the show, out the gate, it's a strong show. I don't think that can be argued anyway. It's definitely a good show out the gate. It definitely lived up to the buzz, and it's going to make people watch that more. I think it's harder now saying where you go from here with your weekly episodic show.
Well, they got more pay-per-views coming up before the show starts.
In October, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said, I know we said one, which I think is in September, their next show coming up. So is it just that one show, or are there actually more pay-per-views?
Well, they got the whole Feast of thing, the Fire Festival next month.
Fighter Fest.
The Fighter Fest.
I don't know if there's a pay-per-view or just a show, but
and then they got another thing coming up in September, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, it's from out the gate, trying to put your company on the map, trying to put some buzz behind you. Mission accomplished.
Okay. I thought it was a pretty decent show from what I saw. There were some issues with the show, which I think that they, as going into the future of this, they have to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Such as production. There were a couple times where their cameramen were out of focus. And you got to teach these people. See, because a lot of times people don't really realize that what goes into a wrestling show or entertainment show is not just wrestling.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't know that, because sometimes, like, one day, we can say what we want about WWE all you want to.
Yeah.
You will not beat them in the production quality.
Oh,
you
well,
won't.
no, because one, they're the top of the top of the tops.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing. I mean, they've had a lot of time to figure this shit out. I wouldn't hold it against them if the production was bad. I would hope that somebody in the back is like, all right, y'all, we got to do X, Y, and Z next show so that we make sure this, and this doesn't happen again. And not just saying we're going to roll with it. You know, you got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, the ring looked good. We had the old school ring, the old school barricade. I liked all that stuff. The stage was fine.
I like the design of it.
I like it because, first of all, anything but the Raw and SmackDown stage to me is just better. Because I'm tired of seeing it.
You get tired of it.
I was like, oh my God, it's poker chips. Because we're in Vegas. That makes sense. I was like, give me something. Because I don't like that they don't make sense anymore. Does it cost money? Yes.
You have a theme. Like, you have a theme. You follow it, and it doesn't start to look kitschy because you did what you were supposed to do.
And I was like, the writing's on the wall, because at this past year's WrestleMania, they just had a big ass screen.
True.
They had a big ass screen, but yet at WrestleMania 33, the Ultimate Thrill Ride, you had a whole theme park,
a whole roller coaster in the background.
See, the only thing that I think people want, but what you're not gonna get, and I think that's even shown by like Raw and SmackDown this week. WWE don't care. It's not a competition yet.
It's not. I don't think it's ever be a competition. I feel like as long as it makes dollars, it makes sense to Vince, because you know they're concerned about ratings, but I can guarantee you that's not their biggest concern.
In my heart, I agree with you. In my heart, they ain't worried.
They're like, they don't care. They really probably don't care about. They know that the bigger threat they have is that people are unhappy and they're willing to leave, even with all the money that they're throwing at people. They're still willing to be like, I'd rather go somewhere else where I can just do this because I like it or because I love it than, you know, because to say that I'm on the WWE roster. So that's more of a bigger threat to you than the actual company itself right now, as far as they probably are looking at it. But you know, if they still making money hand over fist, they don't care.
Right, completely.
See, here's the thing though. I'm not gonna sit here and say Vince ain't scared, because Vince has canceled SmackDown house shows on Mondays. Vince has made this wild card rule that he doesn't abide by. Vince brings out a new Vince brings out a new championship. Those are signs of worrying.
But is that a sign of worrying about AEW, or is that a sign of worrying about what Fox told them they wanted?
That's a sign of worry about what AEW is doing, because if he was going to do anything about what Fox told him to do, they would have did it.
The wild card rule apparently was a compromise for Fox, not for AEW, because Fox wants the big people on the show, but they don't want to completely cancel the brand split. So their solution to that, or Vince's solution to that, was creating this wild card rule where you can have the big stars pop up on each show if necessary, meaning every week, because it makes sense. Even though you're on Raw, we need you on SmackDown this week for whatever reason to come and stir up trouble. So because they want to have the ratings, because apparently in the contract they can, because everybody was saying it, but they cannot move them to FS1 even if the ratings drop. So they're just not trying to. They're trying to, I guess, figure out a way to make sure the ratings don't drop, because now you're gonna have this show taking up space in a primetime slot.
So I mean, look, there have been, you know, the shots fired. Trust me, they're watching.
Oh no, I'm not saying they're not watching,
because
some of these dumb rules.
The Revival's out. Anderson Gallows is out the end of this year. They're gonna be knocking on the door. Sasha just waiting.
Sasha's waiting on her contract to run out.
Sasha's waiting. Yep.
Yeah, waiting on the contract to run out so she can just go over there and do what the fuck she want to do. And I get it. Another thing that bothered me, I don't know about y'all, the commentary.
I didn't see.
Now
busy giving birth and stuff.
Yeah,
so I didn't see none of the commentary.
They had Excalibur, who was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ross speaks for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had this guy named Alex Marvez. He sucked.
He stunk up the place.
This man just ripped the soul out of everything that was in there. And I was just like, are you commentating or are you writing an article?
So who would be the WWE equivalent if there is one? So I could try to make a
WWE equivalent of that guy?
Yeah.
Dasha Bot? Maybe.
See, I was talking about a commentary person today.
Wow.
Not Dasha
Wow.
Bot. I hate to talk about her Dasha Bot also.
Or if I had to go for commentary, I would go
Percy Watson.
I was going to say Percy Watson. But he's not dead though.
No, he's not dead. Percy Watson just don't know where to pick his spots. If I had to go to commentary team, I'm trying to go back to somebody who was just dead on commentary. I hated hearing their commentary. I'm going back
Todd Grisham.
Oh no.
Todd Grisham was not great, but he wasn't.
Clean that up as much as you want.
Not great. You'd be like, I don't know what else to say.
He wasn't as bad as him. So I'm trying to go back to the days of like, remember when they had like Al Snow in there for a minute?
Oh, Jesus.
Doing Sunday Night Heat. Yeah, or if I could think, because a lot of like the people they try on Velocity, like Justin Roberts, not that bad because he did all right at Impact,
mm-hmm.
but it was like he was so hollow, like a board to me.
Jesus. Okay.
He just was every day. He literally took the soul out the matchup. Now Jim Ross, I love JR. I do.
JR is getting up there.
JR been through some shit. He lost his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He going through that shit. He left WWE. The thing about JR is he's an old school commentator.
Yes, in a new school world.
In a new school world, that he don't know all these moves.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know all these people, and he don't know how to sell the story
Can't he just be
behind the move.
Okay. Well, I say, can't he just be color? You don't have to be a.
Well, see, he's the play-by-play guy.
That's why
because they had Alex Marvez as the color guy, and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? And the thing is, that's why I was saying I had a problem when they did Pentagon's arm snap. And JR called it an arm bar. I'm like, no. And he had this same kind of mistaken problem when it was when he did that New Japan show. I forgot which. It was like Wrestle Kingdom, I think it was. So, and on top of that, it was a 3-man announce team. I don't need a play-by-play and a color guy. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Excalibur guy who's been commentating for PWG, he had his mask on for his coach and stuff like that. But I'm just like, he was really good. He was into it. He was excited about it. He did things like that. I can listen to this guy.
Yeah.
Him and JR got better as the night went on certain things, but this Alex Marvez guy, he just was terrible.
Maybe somebody's cousin or something.
Well, somebody I read here. He says commentating since never, and a football writer and podcaster.
Oh.
See, me personally,
what?
Why do y'all do this? See, this is the thing. This is the problem with the world we living in right now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
We live in an influencer culture. So if you have a little bit of a following, and there's enough people behind you that they think you'll bring people to watch or to come, i.e. the Fire Festival, then they'll hire you even if you have no experience with said job. And I just don't understand that. I'm like, that does not work.
But you know what? Certain people got it. Bobby the Brain Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, you got it. Gordon Soley back in the day, you got it. Jim Ross,
Joey Styles.
How would you say?
Joey Styles.
Joey Styles, you got it. And he did that by himself.
Hard.
Jim Ross and Jerry King Lawler, you got it. Corey Graves, what you play like? like it or not, he
does,
got
he
it.
Does.
He got
Mauro
it.
Ronaldo.
Mauro Ronaldo, he got it.
I'm sorry.
Renee Young, don't
got
got
it. Why is she
Beth Phoenix don't got it either.
Bro?
Beth Phoenix, I love Beth Phoenix.
She don't have it.
Right.
Don't got it.
I mean,
listen to her on NXT. I'm just like, I almost said, "Where's Percy Watson?"
I'm not true. I don't know if it's they're not choosing the right women or if they just really don't stand behind. Like, cause y'all, she really clearly needs work, and you know they're gonna be extra hard on her now.
Yeah, I mean now.
See,
I'm not saying I'm not saying that Renee Young or Beth Phoenix is as bad as Lita, but I'm just saying.
Oh Jesus! All she needed to do was in the ring. That was
because when Lita was doing the first Mae Classic,
yeah,
that was a struggle. But
that was hard to listen to. What was you about to say, Quattro?
What I'm wondering is right now, is there anybody across any sports genre that is a female commentator that is very strong? I don't know. I don't have that much of a deeper knowledge of sports. Do you guys know of it?
There are plenty of women interviewers.
There are interviewers, not too many commentators.
Not too many commentators. And there are some, like I watched First Take and I watched Undisputed, and they have like a
they're always
female
the mediator. They're never
mediator,
like an active commentator, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so we don't never have an active commentator or debater, somebody that has a strong presence, because you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes to women. So WWE is trying to change that, but they're just putting women in the sake of putting women on there.
Yeah, they're not putting in people they feel like are really strong. Because I feel like if you have people who have nothing for them to do and they have some personality, why not throw them on the throw them in there as a test or something? Because Renee Young I was trying to give her a chance, but she doesn't have the it. And I was like, I get tired of hearing her go back and forth with Corey and Corey playing the shit out of her because it's very clear that she don't know what she doing.
He is destroying her on commentary every week. And it's like obvious to the fact that Michael Cole's like, yo, you wrong.
I'm like, I don't care about people destroying Michael Cole because it's Michael Cole, but it's just like, bro, we don't need this.
But it's also in the freedom of what you can say also.
Very true.
But
I know you got people in your ear.
You got a lot of people in your ear, things of that nature. But when it comes to the AEW thing, it hurts when you are not really familiar with your talent, and you're not really familiar with the wrestling moves and things of that nature. So that's the unfortunate part about it. But that was our take on AEW, Double or Nothing. So I thought it was a good first start. If I want them to keep on the path of doing what they do best and just focusing on that. Don't worry about WWE because all things will come.
Because AJ Styles said that. I saw in an interview. He was like, "Y'all don't come do what you're doing. Don't come to AEW. Just be your indie promotion. And that's it." I don't know why that's so difficult, but
because you're angry.
I understand. I mean, I get it, but
it's like. All the time, we could talk about all the time how we want to about Roger Goodell and the NFL.
Whew.
And how shit needs to change. And you're angry. And so you're going to come up with an alternative, and you already know deep down inside your main alternative is I want to get this guy out of business. Or I want to show them that there's another way you can do it instead of doing it his way. But when his way has been the way for so long, you just can't get up and fight that.
But I say people gonna take it regardless whether or not it's good or not, or it's right or not. They just gonna go with it because it's what they're comfortable with.
And sometimes, a lot of times, companies, sports agencies, or whatever the case may be, don't focus enough on making their thing great. Instead of look, you can go. It goes to anything. Why in the world is Power Rangers still on?
Why is Power Rangers
for 25 plus years? It feels like. But VR Troopers got canceled after 3 seasons.
That's right, yeah.
Because you want to be the Power Ranger killer instead of being VR Troopers.
Very interesting analogy, but true.
I'm just saying, but I'm just showing it goes with everything.
I know.
No, he's right. Lego's still around, but Connects is dead.
Yeah.
Bro, Connects was the shit too.
It was, but once again, when you focus on it's the same thing. We've seen the MCU that chapter came to in 22 movies in 11 years. And the Dark Universe is done after one movie.
Real.
If you focus on what you're trying to do instead of trying to take down or be like everybody else, it succeeds better.
It works